Hello, creative ones. It's Melissa. So this is my personal invitation to join me in Provence in the south of France this August for activating and awakening and activating the sacred feminine. So what do I mean when I say the sacred feminine? The sacred feminine is the Shakti force. It's the life force. It is the feminine principle within all of creation, and it has been suppressed and repressed for centuries on this planet. And she's rising regardless of gender, right? Regardless of physical form. This principle is rising within all of creation, and it's time that we decide to be the conscious co-creators of its expression, and being the conduits of this energy is what ultimately liberates us, right? And brings creation back into balance, right? We're evolving out of a patriarchal society where the distorted masculine energy and the forms of abuse, control, corruption, greed, manipulation have been the values of our society, right? Globally for centuries, right? War, abuse, racism, all of this stuff are forms of abuse, and that keeps us locked in a reality, a consciousness, a third dimensional consciousness, and systems of oppression. And the only way truly that we can evolve out of that is through the feminine principle, right? Bringing that back into balance, into union, into integration, really with the Trinity, which is the Sophia codes, which I'm going to go into right now. So that is the sacred feminine. So what is the feminine principle? What is the feminine principle? It is the creative, intuitive, emotional, energetic, and spiritual aspects of creation, of all of us. We all have these gifts. And many of us have been programmed, conditioned to devalue them, to repress them, that they're not safe, that they are dangerous, right? That they are, the magic and the mystery and the miracles of the feminine principle are really available to everyone. It's just our own consciousness, our own belief systems that keep them suppressed. And it's time that we, especially as women, that we heal the lineages, that make the conscious choice to heal the feminine line within our own bloodline, not just for ourselves and for our ancestors and for our children and their children, right? But for all of humanity, for the collective, because when we do that energy, we set everyone around us free, right? When we liberate those aspects of the feminine that are healing, the healing principle, the healing is the feminine principle, love, receptivity, that, and when it's married with the discernment of the divine masculine and the truth, the sword of truth, the Excalibur, right, of the masculine, we come into divine union within ourselves. And that's what births the Trinity, right? The divine child, the divine creation in that energetic and level of consciousness. And we're able to co-create in these higher dimensions of consciousness. So it all happens at the level of consciousness and vibration and emotional mastery, emotional maturation, emotional and energetic, empowerment is really the best thing that you can invest in right now, because everything else, all those old patriarchal systems, all those third dimensional systems are crumbling, and we're going to see more and more and more of this. So the more that you are supported in your own self-empowerment, man or woman, to speak the truth, to honor your emotional flow and see it as your superpower rather than a burden, right? Many of us, as children, we're not empowered in the emotions. Okay, I'm gonna do part 2 of this after they do the, stay tuned.